Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Did you make it through the night okay? We don't have good morning, remember that now. So we have to just say, did you make it through the night okay? Okay. And this is for one person. I'm just talking to you. But if I'm talking to a group or even two of you, I would say more than one. Istongon jokaya de gaga. Istongon jokaya de gaga. So that's how you make a greeting. We don't have good morning. And so this weekend was our my grandpa's ground ceremony. So we went. Friday was hot. And I had to rush to get there. And as soon as I got home, I went and put on my capris and I was out the door. But it was so hot, you just sit there and sweat. And they did the ribbon dance. And then that Saturday, I was having car problems. So my husband let the grandkids and our kids go use our truck. And it's a two-seater, but it's not enough for parents and three kids. So me and my husband stayed home. So we didn't get to go back that Saturday, but that Friday we did a lot of visiting. We did a lot of we went to see people that we haven't seen in a while, and they really had a good dance. And my grandkids got out there and they shook their legs and really had a good time. And but it was so hot Friday, you just sat there and it felt like 112 degrees. Okay, for some of you new ones, look here, I got some new things up here. This is one thing that I thought was important to our people. The main component of the Muskogee tribe is language. Muskogee ubunaga Muskogee Mvhayv. The main component of the Muskogee tribe, but look at how it's saying. We don't have the main component in Muskogee language, so we say Mvhayv. That means that's the standing of the Muskogee people. The language is the stand of Muskogee people. Make language a habit, make language natural. Onaga imonga hayat. That's saying make it natural. Make the language natural. Onaga inhunfit. Onaga andos gomit. Onaga inhunfi means believe in the language. Language, believe in it. Onaga andos gomit. Think the language is me. It's me. Own the identity. It's me. Language is me. Identifies you as the Muskogee person. This one is Mujanita inagichit. To make it your own. Own the present. Own the present. Make the Muskogee language present and own it. Today, make it yours. Own. Own the present. Carry the future. Honor the past. Nidda ojahana ganothet. Ufunangi. Carry the future. Honor the past. Nidda ojahana ganothet. Ganothet means carried on your back, like you carry a child on your back. You know, I remember when my grandmother had me, we would go somewhere, and if I got tired, she'd pick me up and put me on her back. That was called ganothet. That's a different word, ganothet. And sometimes they used to say, tell us, you know, some things are really heavy. You have to carry them on your back. And they meant like a burden. And I don't use this word very often, but this is what it means, carried on your back. Carry the future, honor the past. So you would have to carry that, carry the future on your back. A long time ago, carry it on your back. So that's how come I believe in this right here. It's gonna have to be this in order for the language to learn. Fikhamgi punayas. Fikhamgi means bravely. Punayas, speak bravely. And that's what I do. I speak bravely. There might be times I make mistakes. And sometimes I'll mispronounce things once in a while. But I do speak brave. I do speak bravely. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not something that says, you know, I know it all, but I speak bravely. This is what I stand by right here. I carry it on my back, and you know, sometimes to teach this language to people, hoping that they would learn it. I've said it before, you know, it's a hard job to try to make people, you know, but accepting it.
Yeah, Betty.
Teaching. Believe it.
Mvhayv Betty. She's teaching. Oh, okay.
You believe in your language, believe in it. Unaga inpuntet. Unaga andoskomen.
Unaga angostoven. See, she tells you how to say them.
Unaga
break it down.
Gomet. Gomet means think it's you. Unaga dos. Unaga andos. Andos means it's me. I think it's me. It's me. Language thinks
it's me.
Own the identity. Say it's you. Make it yours, your own. Mojanita inagichit. Nita o jahana ganothit. Ufonangi. Mojanita inagichit. Inagichit and make it yours. Make it yours. Mojanita is the present today. Today, make it yours. Mojanita o jahana ganothit. Here in the future, honor the past. Nitao Jahana means the day that's coming. Put it on your back. Honor it. And I carry this. This is what my job is. Fikhamgit Onayas. Speak bravely. And my grandkids, you know, I explain this to them a lot. You know, and one of my little grandkids, when I said God knows it, she said like a backpack. And I said, yeah, like a backpack. She said, you carry it on your back like a backpack. And I said, yes, and she got it, you know. She said, is it the language? And I said, yeah, it's a language backpack. So she knew what I was talking about, you know, and they knew what I was talking about. So now they say, God knows it. God knows it. They use this word, God knows it, because they'll say God knows it, and they're talking about their backpack, but they're
getting here.
Honor the past. Hofunangi, oh, it didn't write down here. That honor the past is Hofunangi, I thought Quijit. That was on there, it didn't print it off. Hofunangi, I thought Quijit means honor the past. Hofunangi, right here. Ufonangi athakwijit. Athakwijit means honor it. Athakwijit. Athakwijit. That's how this you know, this is what I carry. This is my habit right here. I believe in this language. I believe it is me. And I make it mine. I make it mine. And I'll carry the future and honoring the past. I think I honor the past because what was back then in our homelands, God, 200-300 years ago, I'm still carrying it. But now it's carrying it on my back so that I can teach people. And to a point, it's like I'm just carrying it right here every day. Because my teaching never stops. You know, when I leave my job, I go home and teach my grandkids. I go home and I talk to them. So I'm always got this language on my back. Always. And in my mouth. I'm always doing that. I'm always having it. And so I was teaching them this. And I told them, believe in the language. Believe in it. Think it's you. The language is you. It's you. And I said, and they said backpack for God knows it. And I said, that's right, it is a backpack. And they told me, Grandma, do you carry a backpack with language in your heart? That's right, Jane. In your heart. You gotta carry it in your heart. And always carry it. Always carry it. Speak bravely. Speak bravely. Don't be afraid to speak it or afraid to make a mistake. You just have to speak it. That's the only way you're going to, get it is speak it. And, don't be afraid to make that mistake because it is there. It's there, and your tongue will get used to that. Your tongue will get used to saying these words, the sounds. And that's how come I stress sounds, because if you look at it, these are all sounds. Look here. Moja nitta inagicit. Nitta oja hana ganosit. See? It's all broke down in sounds. That's where these sounds that I've been teaching comes in. You break them down and you can get, look here, there's the three. Fik, hum, geet, bonayas. It's all, the sounds are all here. So if you look at this, our language is sounds. What you've been learning, it's sounds. Okay, here we go. There we go again. Look here. A field. Chabufa. Well, this means well or healthy, and as being healthy. Chafikni. A boy. Chaga. A bell. A boy. This is a gender now. Chibani. Chibani. A bridle. Chokshaka. See how that's broke down? Look at how many sounds we got here. And look how many, what language? Look at the language that it's saying. It's all sounds. Foot, kida, to whistle. But look here. Foot, kida, to blow. Foot. And you see, remember, there's no silent sounds. But this he is foot. You go, barely there. Foot, kida. That's like, my little grandson, my husband taught him how to whistle. He whistled, and now he'll just walk around whistling. He'll walk around just whistling. Yesterday we was in the evening, we got home and my husband said, I'm going to cut some of that grass. So I said, well, I'll edge for you. So we was out there. Well, my little grandson, we got him a little weed eater, and it's electric, but it's real light. So he had that, he was weed eating, he was just a whistling. And you don't hear people whistling anymore. I remember way back when I was growing up, they'd be walking down the street just whistling a tune. Well, he goes around and he was just weed eating and he was just a whistling, and I said, he's a whistler. Well, anyway, during the grounds, he got to, they hoop, and he told me, he said, Grandma, I was a hooping. And I said, good. I said, that's part of your dance. He said he was hooping. A beehive. For hoodie. See those sounds? For hoodie. To sprinkle. Fiskida. See, all these sounds that you've been studying is right here. It's just broke down. To die, ilida. These are all sounds, and you can break down a 16-letter word and pronounce it. Litkida, to run. Legida, to set. Mojasi, new. Malumha is a button. The truth, mahinwa. And this is more like a biblical term. Mvhayv. In the biblical term, it's called Mvhayv, like the truth. But we also say fatcha for truth too. A patch on the clothing, malega. You know, I got pictures of my brother when his little blue jeans were patched up because on the knees. Because he wore them out, my mother would patch it up for him, and he wore the same things because you know, she didn't want him to have no knee, she didn't want him to have any knees on all of his pants, so she would patch it up and you know, he wore the same thing. Hasaki is clean. Not only you seeing where these are broke down, but look at the words. You're learning different words. Far away, obey ye. East, hasosha. That's where we're from. The Muskogee people are from the east. Hasosha. 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 Hasosha is the east. And here we go. Look at all these words these sounds make, and there's a lot more than that. There's a lot more. Hoktuji, a little girl. Hoktuji, a Perry. Hayakpo. Remember, look here, there's a difference though. From a let's see. From a field, chabofa, to a Perry. A Perry is hayakpo, but a field is a chabofa. So see how these are written down? Alligator. Halbada. Halbada. Beads. Gonawa. Coal. Gasapi. Osakwa. Crow. Osakwa is a crow. To buy, we do this every day, don't we? We buy something. Nisida. We always buy something. Nisida. Now remember, this is infinitive verb saying to buy. Okay, to buy. To sleep. Nojida. Pelican. This is descriptive. Nok sokja. This nok is short for nokwa, and sokja means a bag. See that? It's saying neck bag. Horse in the throat, noksongi. Bear, nogoshi. Medicine, we use this every day, medicine. Especially if you go to the doctor, you get them all the time. Hilishwa. Hilishwa. The moon, you see that every day, every night. Hathisi. Hathisi. You rest every day. Figapka. 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 Everything, like all of the kids or something, you say omalga. Omalga. Stand. Oktaha. Oktaha. These are two-letter sounds. I mean, look here, Ida, another. See how these sounds are making words? That's why I teach sounds, guys. There's always just breaking it down, and you can get this language down. Okay, these are three. Look here. Akhasi, akhasi, a pond. Look at this field. We're back to three-letter. Jabofa. See how these things are just making words, man? You just can't. These are all sounds. And if you look at this, they're all broke down into sounds where you know that sounds are important. Okay, these are single. A, chi, I, fi, he, a, ki, li, me, ni, o, be, the, si, di, u, a, we, ye. Those are just single sounds, but you can put 2-letter sounds and 3-letter sounds together. And it makes you speak in Muskogee. And they can call it a word, but I don't call it a word, it's speaking. It's speaking. I call it speaking because Dinitki right here. Dinit is thunder. Dinitki is thunder. You're speaking a thunder in Musco in European, you're naming it. You're naming it here, but you're also speaking a language. You're speaking it. When you say Dinitki. Do, dolosi. Look at those sounds in here. Do, dolosi. Dut, genen. These are all sounds, guys. That's why you need to study sounds. If it's, just if you got 5 minutes, sit down. You would not believe what 5 minutes can do if you have that 5 minutes to do it. That's how I learned these. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes over here. R is the. And that's, that it's called the. Your tongue is on top of your the. You put it on between your teeth and it comes back. The. That's how you pronounce R. And it's hard to, we've been learning English all these years because first day of school, I had no clue this existed until a few years ago because I just spoke it. I never was worried about reading and writing them. But then I thought, you know what? I'm teaching. I needed to teach the language because they needed teachers. It was getting to the point where I had to step up. So I said I would, and I knew this, never knew this, and I had to go back to school to be able to teach this. So I went back to school and I was in my middle 40s when I went back. I was in my middle 40s and I will never do it again. I won't go back to school. And I'm going to tell you, I was working, of course, and I was a wife and I was a mother. And that was hard because I had maybe 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and 5 minutes over here. But, and there were times I studied till 3 o'clock in the morning and get up to go to work at 8. And that's what it took. And you know what? I don't regret it. I won't do it again, but I won't regret it. I won't do it again, but I won't regret it, And, there were times I just wanted to quit. But because this was so hard for me, this was so hard to learn because, see, I knew there was writing, but I didn't have, in my mind, I didn't have to learn how to read it because I didn't know how to speak it. But then again, it came down to, yeah, you did. You better if you're going to teach it. So I started having to do this, and I'm going to tell you, that was hard. And getting used to the and a, the I being a was the hardest thing for me. I could not get used to it because, see, I was conditioned to learn to do these in English. And this was an A to me in C. But then when I got in here, it was A, G, I, E, F, he, A, he, li, me, ni, O, B, the, C, D, U, A, we, ye. And when you say wasco, you're saying chigger. And and that's how I looked at writing it. And I could have wrote chigger. I knew how to write chigger all my life. But to write wasco was a totally different world for me. I did not know how to spell. I knew what it was. I knew what wagga was. I knew what weasel was. But to write it, I didn't think I ever knew how to, and I could write chigger, cow, and sassafras in English. But to write it in Muskogee was the hardest thing for me, and I had to sound it out every way I went. Wasco. Wasco. I had to find out where my teeth was, where my tongue was at, what sounds I was making in order to pronounce it. Wasco. And I started writing it, but it took a lot of practice. I would just take little English phrases and I would start writing it in Muskogee. I was trying to get it, and then I had to go to 2 and 3 letter sounds. And it took a lot of studying. But I did, and now, I don't regret it at all. In fact, it helped me more than anything else. Okay. Let's go to this. Look here. We studied some of this, but look at the infinitive verbs. Look how many infinitive verbs. There's a whole lot more than this. Infinitive verb. To wake up is ahonijida. And this is first person and present tense now. Verbs. You're doing something. Okay. Ahonijida is to wake up. Ida means to wake up. But if you're doing it, you say ahonijas. And how many times do you wake up in a day? Ahonijas. For me, it's every morning. Ahonijas. And you know how many times I say this right here? Ahonijas. You wake up. You wake up. Do it. Ahonijas. It's a command. Hombida is to eat. I am eating is hombes. That's my pastime. Hombes. I'm eating. I'm doing something. Eating. And I don't know how many times I say this. Hombas. Well, during our ceremony, I had my whole family down there. So that Sunday, they all came in. They all came in about 6:30 that morning. And I said, well, let me cook breakfast, So I cooked breakfast and everybody went back to sleep. So I left it up. I left it in the refrigerator and they were putting it in the microwave. Well, that evening, my whole family was still there that participated. So here I was, I cooked supper and we all ate. And then they went back to sleep because they had been up all night long. To work is adorkida. I am working. Adorques. Remember, you changed this itia to AC. Adorques. Adorcas, you go to work. To sit is legida. When you want to do it, you say leges. All this has got to end in that you're doing it. IS. Leges. Es. Leges. But if you're telling somebody to do it, it's got the C at the end, the VS at the end, Legas. Legas. Daskida. Daskida. To jump. If you're jumping, you say daskes. Now this is present tense. Daskes. But if I'm telling you to jump, I would say daskas. Daskas. Litkida. To run. Leadgas. Leadgas. I am running. I'm running. I'm running. Litkas. Run. Litkas. Yagabida. To walk. Yagabes. I am walking. You tell somebody to walk. Yagabas. To quit. Wagida. Wages, I quit. Telling somebody to quit, I use this every day. Wagas. Wagas. And hear that difference? Wages, I'm quitting. Wagas, command, you quit. Ayida, to go. Ayes, ayes, I go. Ayes, I go. Ayes. You go. You go. Wakida, to lay down. Wakas, I'm laying down. Wakas, you lay down. And this can mean like going to bed too. Like, only, you lay down. And this is where situation environment comes in. If you say walk us and it's at night, 10 o'clock at night, they mean go to bed, right? Okay. Look here, there's no buys. But let's go here first. Look here, conjugated verbs by present tense and person. This is what we need to get to right here. This is what I got more coming too. Bonaida, to talk. Those are all infinitive verbs right here, because it's got the ed up, but look how they're broke down. Gejida, to say or speak to. Ohonaida, to read. Hochejida, to write. Bohida, to ask. Oh, abohida, to ask. Bohida, to hear. Ma bohejida, listen. Be obedient. Agifejida, to think, to be thoughtful. Gifida, to learn or to know. Salagida, to return, to come back. Hijida, to see, to look for. Magida, to say. Hayida, to make. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is present tense when you are doing something, but we're going to we. When you say, I am talking, that's bonayida. Right here, I am talking. Bonayida. But when you subtract the ed off of bonayida and add is, ac. And it's easier to use the Muskogee sound saying ac because you're saying bonayes. Bonayes. I am talking. I am talking. Bonayes, I'm talking. But here, first person plural, we are talking. We are talking together. So we subtract the ed off of this, and we add es for saying we are. Remember, you're saying I am with AC, but with we are, we're going to add es. Amy dibagian ponais. Me and Amy are talking. We are talking. See, that's all it is. But if Amy said, hang on now, I'm talking. She would say, I didn't see ponais. I didn't see. She said, wait, I'm talking. And see, I'll be on a phone with my cell phone here, and my little grandkids will be on my shirt, grandma, grandma, grandma. I said, shh, bonayes. Bonayes. And they'll say, and they'll pass it down like Three Stooges. That's what they are, Three Stooges, and they'll go from one to another. And so see, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking. But if me and Amy's talking, all we have to do is take the infinitive verb bonaida, subtract the ed and add es, and we'll say we are talking. Bonayis. We are speaking. Obonayis. We are speaking. We are speaking to Gejis. We are reading Okonayis. We are writing Hochejis. We are asking Abuhis. Oh, twice. We are listening Mabohejis. We are learning Githis. Talahogis. We are returning. Look here. All this, like I am hearing Bohes. We are asking Abohis. See how that changes, and it's just ending from a infinitive verb. This is You can add anything to this. You can say Joga Okonayes. Joga is a book or a paper. Joga Okonayes. I'm reading a book or paper. That tells that person the whole story. Okay. That tells them the whole story. So if we say noggin, okay. The one what you got here. What you got? I can't get this.
When you said when
Go ahead.
when you said Boneda,
Uh-huh. Boneda?
sounded to me like you took in the E and you made it Boneda, but then with Bonayes, it's kind of a different sound with the and ye that you're making, or at least in my ears it is. Is there a difference between how and ye are supposed when they're together like this that they're supposed to sound versus what and ye are supposed to sound like? Do and ye sound different than and ye when they're together?
You break it up, but let me see.
It sounds
So,
like
like, I am
often
talking.
sounds like that kind of thing.
Okay, Bonayes. That's
Yeah,
what. Right. Bonayes is I am talking. Bonayes is we are talking. Bona, and you, I bet you're talking about this right here, aren't you? The N-A?
I'm talking about when you said English, when you put a and a y together, or a and a ye.
Okay.
Does it sound different than you
Yeah,
put
it's,
a b and a y together?
yeah,
Do you
you
understand my question?
you can put a V in there, the sound, but it would be Bonayes. We can't say that. We would have to say Bonayes and see na instead of na. Bonayes. We can't say that. Is that what you're saying? Or Bonayes. I can't say
Let me-
Bonayes.
I often see things written, some words with the and
well,
ye together, or
yeah, it's
Yeah.
different on each one. Like,
whatever the pronounce, it sounds.
yeah, they are different. There's some that has to have that, and some people spells it that way, which I don't with a V. But when I say I'm talking, I hear the na, bona, ni bona, yes. And there's that tone that fits in that. So like bona, yes, na, you know, and some people says bona, because if it was a in ni it would be na. Is that what you're talking about? I guess you're breaking up, and I couldn't hardly. I can't really.
Let me say hocheches in past tense. Hocheches, but then it's ending with a V and a Y
Okay.
before the umps.
Coach.
And to me, it sounds the same as
Well, when you got
what
right.
I hear people say when they say
I think that a lot of us
Well, if
not.
you don't get
When you say hoche, jess, hoche, jess, I am riding, and hoche cheese, che, not hocha,
Well,
jess.
if I say hocheches in past tense, which is I was riding,
Youngs.
I think
Yeah,
it spells with the before the.
It would be in there, ja, would be in there, see, hoche ja, youngs. See, hoche ja, youngs. That would be see, chi, cv. Hoche ja. You hear that ja? In there, yeah, that would be right. Hoche ja, youngs. Okay, any?
Well, that's spelled.
I still can't hear you.
Oh,
You may.
I said, oh well, I mean,
I can't, you're breaking up and it's hard.
Sound the name often when they're pronounced to you.
Okay, look here. Second person, this is present tense, second person. You are talking. Bonayitskis. Amy, Bonayitskis. You are talking. But look at where you all, this is second person, plural, everybody's talking. Bonayitskis. Bonayitskis. So you on this one is an infinitive verb, bonayida. You minus the et up and add etc, gec, ets, kes, bonayitskis. You are talking. Muskogi bonayitskis. Nagin magik bonayitskis. You are all talking. Bonayatski nagin bohakodas. Y'all are all talking, I can't hear. You know, or y'all's talking, hamgojan bonayatski nagin visagodas. Y'all's all talking at once and I can't learn that. That, see, all, bonayatskis. O bonayatskis, you are speaking, and look at the difference. You are talking, bonayatskis, and you are speaking, o bonayatskis. You are all speaking, ubonayatskis, ubonayatskis.
Mvhayv, you may have explained this before, but what is the difference between bonayitskis and obanayitskis? Like the difference in just that one letter. What is the difference when to use it?
So like speaking, a Muskogi, ubonayatskis, you are speaking Muskogi. But if I'm talking about it, Muskogi Muskogi Bonagan Bonayits, because you are talking the Muskogi language. See that kind of that difference? Speaking, like speaking to a crowd. Obonayitskis. You are speaking. Obonayitskis. Bonayitskis. You are talking. Like if you're physically talking to somebody, is Bonayitskis. But obonayitskis is like you're speaking of something, somebody, or something. That's the difference on that. And we don't use that though very often because oh, here it is. I was trying to say when I hear ayi pronounced, it sounds the same to me as I hear yv pronounced. I'm gonna figure that out. And then YB. There's, I don't know if I can pronounce that IE. Yes, they are. In fact, there's not really that. It may sound like that, Thor, but it's not really. I was trying to say when I hear ye pronounced, it sounds to me as when I hear YB pronounced. Well, one is blunt, like bona yitskis. But if I said it in V, I would say bona yitskis. Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, the YB would be yeah, and the YA would be ya, ya. Same way with in right here, ni na is in V, na is bona, is in A is na. Right here, same thing. Every one of this with the, if it's got a V sound, it would be like yeah, ga, ja, ja, sa. But then with the A, it would be na, cha, like jadi, sa, you know. Okay. There you go. All right, Jonathan. Okay, so where was we at? Okay, this is, let's start over. Second person singular is bonayitskis. You remove the idea and you say ETCKES, add that to it. So I say, Amy, Bonayitskis. You are talking. You're all talking. Thor, Amy, whoever else, y'all are all talking. Bonayitskis. Bonayitskis. You are speaking. You're all speaking. Obonayatskis. You are speaking too, Gadzitskis. I'll say Oscar Gadzitskis. You're speaking to Oscar. You're all speaking to Oscar. Oscar Gadzitskis. Gadzitskis. Okonayitskis. You are reading. You're Jogo Okonayitskis. You are reading a paper like they didn't know, but you just what? See, my understanding is that functions like a swap. Yeah. And unextended O sound would be accurate understanding. Yeah. More likely, yeah. You are listening. Mabo Hedzitskis. Nagi Magayat Mabo Hedzitskis. I said, whatever I'm saying, you're listening to. But if I say, now I'm talking about you, Mabo Hedzitskis. But if I say, you're all listening, Nagi Magayat Mabo Hedzitskis. Whatever I'm saying, y'all listen to, okay? You are thinking, Nagi Magayat Agithe Jitskis. You are thinking about what I said. Agithe Jitskis. Nagi Magayat, what I'm saying, Agithe Jitskis. But if I say you're all thinking about it, Nagi Magayat Agithe Jatskis. Nagi Magayat Agithe Jatskis. Whatever I'm saying, y'all thinking about it. Okay? Nagi Magayat Gifitskis. Gifitskis. Whatever I'm saying, you're learning. Nagi Magayat Gifitskis. You are learning. But if I say you're are learning, I would say Giftatskis. Nagi Magayat Giftatskis. Or Nagi Mahayayat Giftatskis. You are learning what I'm teaching. So see, this is how you change. It's just doing the EDF from an infinitive verb, because remember, we are infinitive, we are verb prominent language. We did everything with this verb. Look at the few verbs we did. There's a lot more we can do with it too. We can do a lot more with this. We can do a lot more with this infinitive verbs. And you just add to it. For Johijitskis, you're looking at fish. I mean, duck. Tato-hijitskis, you're looking at a fish. Taton-hijatskis, you are all seeing a fish. Hijatskis. Okay. Third. Look here, third. Getting more complicated, isn't it? Third person singular. You got the idea at an infinitive verb. You take that away, minus it, and add es. Short e at the back. So if I say he or she or something is talking, bonayas. Listen now. Remember? Bonayas. It's short. Bonayas. That's short and blunt right there. Bonayas. They are talking bonayagas. You take the itia, bonayda, and minus that and add agec. Bonayatskis. Bonayatskis. But look here, bonayas. He or she is talking. Amy bonayas. See, I'm telling you, I'm making a statement. I am telling you, Amy is talking. Bonayas. And you can do anything with that. I had a dog. I told you about my dog that talked. If I were nice, you can make anything. When I was teaching immersion, I taught my kids to say purple pigs, pink pigs. I didn't care what color pigs they were. they were telling me something. So these were like preschoolers, you know, and third graders. And I say, make this pig any color. They'd say, Sokhajadi. They're saying red pig, you know, purple pig. They were saying all color pigs. And then we went to cows. We had all colored cows. It was putting words together, okay? He, she, it is speaking to Gauges. Mama Gauges. So if I'm telling Amy, he's telling, she's saying stuff to mom, I would say, Mama Gauges. Mama Gauges. He or she, it is reading. Something's reading. Okonayas. I would say, Jogo Okonayas. If Amy asks me, where's your mama? Jogo Okonayas. She's reading the paper. She's reading the book. See how that's saying? This is how you say Jogo Okonayas. Mama Jogo Okonayas. She Barnett Jogo Okonayas. Anything you want with this, but this is how they could use singular, plural, present tense. Second person plural. Now this is they are talking. They are talking. Bonayagas. Bonayagas. They are speaking. Obonayagas. He, she, it is speaking to Gauges. They are speaking to Gauges. And like the second person, they'll say, they said they're telling them they're telling him they are going to a meeting. And you know, we hear a lot of these rules. They'll say Moin Bohagis. They are asking Abohagis. They are hearing Bohagis. They are listening Mabohejagis. He or she is listening. It is listening Maboheds. Onaga Maboheds. This right here, I've heard of this and right here, her, he, she, it is listening Maboheds. My mom we had a little cousin and she said, man, Maboheds. He's going off though. He's listening to them and it's no good. That's what she would say. Man in Maboheds. He's Maboheds. He's listening to somebody else. The either man Maboheds. He's egonoctos. He's listening to somebody else and it's not good. So see, she used to tell us that. And we've heard a lot of that, you know. She'll say, okay, here we go. Third person singular. Take the ED off and EC, short E. He or she, or it is learning, Githis. Githagus, they are learning. If I say y'all were all learning, I would say, must go get one Githagus, they are learning, Githagus. Okay. Right here, we got about 8 minutes. Any questions? Do y'all want to ask any questions? We're going to go back over this again because y'all need to understand the infinitive verbs. The infinitive verbs is what these are made of. It's just, remember I told you, it's verb. These are just all the infinitive verbs. Whatever you can do, you can do it. I can add more to this. Kohida. Legida, Ojida, Hayida. There's so many verbs. Yagabida, Daskida, Unayida, Hotsezida. A lot of this is up here, but I'm just off the top of my head. There's so many things. Mukejida, Hayida. Dajida, Baksangi, Bahi, Dajayangs, that's past. And we're going to pass too. Dajas. Yes, we're going to go over all this. This will be done. Okay. So all these, you can do anything you want to with them. I just had, right before I come in here, I had my cousin in here. She's going to go tell a story in the Muscogee language. all in the language, then translated into English. So my cousins, they can speak too, just like me. And that's how we were at the grounds we was at. We were all there when we were growing up. I seen it when I was just a little bitty girl. And I was there when I was a little bitty girl, and they were too. And so we used to play together. We play together, and she said, Nagin dua hanaya, what am I gonna do? Nagin no naya hanaya. She said, what am I gonna tell? And I said, Nagi, Chile Hojadides, Nagi des Keith, it's Chimonaco Yadides. I said, just tell something that how you grew up or how you what they told you, stories. And see, I told one about the eagle shot. And the eagle shot is about something that makes you forget. Ihoshida is the infinitive verb, to forget. Ihosha is something that makes you forget. And see, I got stories about that. My mom told me that. She said there, and right where my house is now, they followed a certain trail, and she said that trail is right there, and went on top of a little mountain in front of my house and got to a little town. And if you cross that path, his path, if he's walked on this path, and if you walked on that path, you'll forget where you're at. That happened to my uncle and my husband. My husband, we've been living there 20-something years, 30-something years where we're at. We've been all over those woods. My uncle grew up just a quarter of a mile down from my house, and my mother lived just a quarter of a mile up east of my house. We know that those woods like the back of our hand. We can get around anywhere back there. They got lost. They ended up on number 9, close to Eufaula. And my uncle said, we got lost. He said, I don't know how I got lost. And it was time to eat, so I was honking the horn for him, telling him to come out. And he said, we got lost. We got lost. They didn't come back till like 7, 8 o'clock that night. And she said, I don't see how I got lost. He said, and so he told us, he said, y'all don't hang around very much. Y'all don't go in those woods back there very much, because he said, we forgot. Mitchell, my husband, he said, I had no clue where I was at. And he said, I've been back there so many times, because my grandma lived just below me where I'm at. My mother lived just behind me. We knew those woods. We were all over the place. We'd ride horses out there. We walked out there. We did everything out there. We was in those woods, and they got lost. My uncle could have never got lost out there, because he grew up. He was way back there before we ever were. You know. And he said, we got lost. And my mom said, where y'all been? And he said, we got lost. So I told a story about that. And that trail's just right down just maybe not even football field down from where that trail is, where he traveled. And so I was there, and I said, God, I honked the horn for y'all. They said, we didn't hear. And then we got another road going outside of here, Omogi. Well, Henrietta, I want to say Henrietta. There's a little town west of here, and there's a small community there, and there was a couple of women told me they got lost going that way. They said we had no clue where we were at until we got into the middle of town and we found out where we were at. He said the whole landscape changed. We know where it was at. Another girl told me a story where she got lost. And she said the town of Okima wasn't even there. And she thought, well, if I get to Okima, I'll know where I'm at. She said, because it's lit up, because she said it was completely dark. And she said, she said she didn't even pass the town of Okima. So she never went by, which you will if you're not lost. You know, so, you know, so she was in my office a while ago, and she said she's going to tell a story for me here the 23rd. We're going to be at a community center. And I told a story about the Eagle shop. And she said, what did you tell? And I said about that, you know. And Ihosha is short from Ihoshida, to forget. So you know, I told a story here not too long ago for Top Buckle Tribal Town. And I was telling those stories, you know, about, and you know, my mom just didn't sit down and just tell a story. We could be cooking or anything, and just all of a sudden, little things would come up, she would tell me, and that's what I was telling them, you know. Stories just wasn't just sitting there like reading a book. We could be sitting there washing dishes, we could be sitting there quilting, we could be just sitting at the table drinking coffee, and all of a sudden a story would hit her, and she would tell me these stories. It was never planned. It was never like, this is what I'm going to do. It was just something would come up, she'd just tell me. And so that's how I told that day. And just little things, you know, just little things that she used to tell me. I told those stories. And, you know, I've learned a lot from my mother, and I told those stories. But I was telling them that day at that storytelling, I said, you know, if we told, like right now, I'm telling, you would think we were completely insane. The European mind, you know, the Europeans didn't have, they might have some legends, but ours were real. You know, we got these stories, and I said they would think we were completely insane. And that made the people laugh. You know, they would come at us for telling stories like that. And or that nowadays would be traumatizing to a child or something. But you know, we weren't. It was something that was part of our world. And I said, that's who we are. That's what we are. We're unique, we're different. We got all these little stories that we tell. And I'll tell my grandkids, they'll say, tell a story, Grandma. Tell a story. You know, and I'll tell them stories. And then Halloween night is my night. My daughters will say, Mama, we need you to tell stories. Because I got some scary stories too, but I don't tell them very often. But she'll say, Mama, we need you at so-and-so. You need to tell us. And it just be family and friends, you know, we'll get together and they'll all sit around and we'll tell a story. I'll tell a story. And my daughter just here, the one that is the youngest that lives with me, she's the one that's the twin that can tell and hear things. She said, Mama and Grandma visited me the other day. I haven't got to ask her because she works so late at night. And then I'm gone in the morning. And then this weekend we had a ceremony, so we didn't really get to talk, but I'm going to ask her, yeah, what did Grandma say? She said, Grandma visited me, Mama. I don't know what it was about, but I'm still wanting to ask. I haven't forgot it. So, Hazeskivka, Sun Major, Hamga, Wianibiga, Chihizagatis, in Naskaba in Hayatkan. Chihizagatis, I'll see you on the morning after Tuesday. Ain't it? No, today's Tuesday. Oh, I know, Mado, guys, Mado. Haram Jimbona Yagatis. Jimbona Yagatis, I will talk to you again. Mado.
Hello.
Keep those components, the components right here. Right here. Keep them, hang on to them. Mado, the gets again, are you behind us, Jay?